Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Can y'all hear me okay? Lower deck thumbs up. Upper deck thumbs up. All right, awesome. That means we're cleared for departure. Who is ready to see the world famous San Diego Zoo? Excellent. Well, then you're in the right place. Thank you for joining us here on a bus tour. I'm your tour guide, Kate, and it will be my pleasure to show you around our beautiful zoo. First and foremost, thank you for finding us today. I know that the traffic's a little crazy out there, so things are coming. Thanks for getting on our first tour of the day. We're excited to have you, and I'm excited to show you around and tell you all about this place. Yeah, we are going to spend about 40 minutes together, seeing lots of plants and animals. I'll get to tell you a little bit about them. I'll also get to tell you a little bit about what it is we do for them. We are, of course, at the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance, and this is a conservation organization that does work here and globally to create a world where all life thrives. That's our mission, and it's a big one. So we're pretty happy to have you here with us. We're a nonprofit organization. What that means is that just by being with us today, you're supporting everything we do. Yay! So this is your zoo, and because of that, I'm going to give you directions as well on this tour. We don't want you to miss out on anything, and in fact, right here in the front plaza, you have pathways into areas we cannot fit the bus. So on the right-hand side, we've got those pathways going into the Lost Forest, Treetops Way. That's where most of the monkeys and apes are located. And then directly in front of us, there's a big red roof up ahead there. That is the snake house. Who's here to see snakes? Oh, one of you.
Did you see the little bird statue?
All right, well, don't tell them.
I think you saw
They
it.
mean no harm. Oh, we also have Komodo dragons, Galapagos tortoises. Some of those are over 100 years old. But make sure to go visit the reptiles. Just beyond that area, you've also got our Wildlife Explorers Base Camp. That is the new children's zoo. It's got an awesome play area for the kiddos. But there is fun for everyone. Oh, pardon the brakes, it just means they're working. And and yes, up in that base camp area, I encourage you to go look around. We've got some very cute southwest critters that I really like. That's where our burrowing owls and prairie dogs are located. They just happen to be super adorable, but they are also some of the species that we get to help out right here in our own backyard, right here in the southwest. We're in one of the zoo's 8 hubs of conservation. These are big parts of the planet where we have a lot of work going on, lots of projects, partners, and progress. And happily, they're all represented right here at the zoo. So our tour is sort of like a little trip around the world. Already, we have driven into a jungle. This is our Asian rainforest surrounding us. One of many landscapes here at what is also a botanic garden. We are a botanic garden. We're proud to have such a great climate. We can have thousands of plants from all over the world. So enjoy the plant life. Take a look at some of the signage. And also feel the plants. Down here in the jungle, it's always nice and cool. It really does show you how microclimates can be achieved. And also, of course, what plants do for us, right? They give us a nice, cool planet. They give us fresh air, clean water, and, of course, so many resources. For our animals, too, we like to use the right kind of plants around them. So here in our Asian rainforest, we're going to find our first Asian animal. This is our tiger.
Yes.
On the right side. Yeah.
Oh.
So for my friends in the back, I'll go forward in a moment. You're welcome to move around, though. That's fine. Yeah, as long as feet are on the floor, hands are on railings, everything's inside of the bus. Body parts and belongings. We'll be just fine. But we do have a beautiful Korean tiger right there in the middle of the habitat. And I'm pretty excited to see him go well. But again, just not getting here early in the morning because a lot of animals are crepuscular. That means they're going to be more active in the morning and the evening.
She's a lion tiger?
So right now is a good time of day to
Malayan.
see activity from our cats like this guy. Look how big he is, too. That's a big boy. Now, this Malayan tiger is actually one of our smaller tigers. Malayan tigers are the second smallest subspecies. There are 6 subspecies. A Siberian tiger can be about double that size. They can get really big. However, all 6 subspecies are critically endangered. We do a lot of work all throughout Asia to support tigers wherever they are. And a lot of what we do is what we're doing right now, looking for them. Yeah, they need to know where they are. We use a lot of technology these days. Things like geographic information systems, trail cameras. These innovations help us figure out where tiger populations are, so of course we can protect those spaces and work closely especially with the communities nearby. Yeah, definitely we want to work closely and let everybody know if tigers are around. Good idea. So, I'm glad we got to see such a beautiful view of our blue tiger. Down the hill, though,
Yeah.
I'm going to show you where a few more of our
I
Asian
started
species
wrestling
are
with my
located.
purse.
First, though, we're going to take a little detour to Africa. In just a moment here, we're
Look,
going to
honey,
visit our
the trees.
African forest. And
In my
first
camera?
up, we're going to look for an animal that's actually the most dangerous animal in Africa. Anybody know what that is?
The hippo.
Hippopotamus.
Good idea, right? I don't know.
Hippo.
Hippos, yeah. I know, and think about it. You're probably thinking, but they're herbivores. They only eat plants. No, they don't want to eat you. They just don't like you. Deal with it. All right. And it's true, they're very
Don't
territorial.
injure you and
And,
leave
okay,
for
check
dead.
this out. This hippo on our right is over 3,000 pounds. Not that I'm calling her fat. That would make hypocritical. Bless your heart. And she can still run up to 30 miles an hour. Yeah. Now the hippo would charge anything she thinks is a threat to her homes and babies. So that's why we give them wide berth. That is why they're so dangerous. Now here's the zoo though. You've got a pathway just down there that can take you right up to the window. You can be just a couple of inches away from our hippos, watching them there in the water. It's really, really cool. So take this opportunity to get to see our hippos really well today. Now that's just one of 3 hippos that we have here. And they will be in the water most of the day. Seeing them out here grazing like this is kind of neat. But again, from the pathway, you've got a nice view into the water.
So
But they
nobody
spend
knows
about
the first
16
bus
hours in
ride
the water
is probably
because
the best
it's
one.
cooler, right? It takes the weight off their feet, the sun off their skin. It's a great way to survive and stay comfortable out there in the hot African sun. So I'm glad we can see our hippo out and about. Hello, my friend. And there are also okapis that live back there.
Yeah.
They're not out yet. They
I
usually
think we
come
are
out a
gonna
little
go
later
see
in the
them.
morning. But when you're walking through here, look for okapi. If you're not familiar with them, they're dark brown animals with black and white stripes on their legs and rump. They make a lot of people think about a zebra, but in fact they're related to giraffes. Yeah, and you're going to see big heads, ossicones, long legs, long tongues. They're really beautiful, so make sure to go look for them. Down the pathway here, you're also going to find some red river hogs and otters. Together we might find some monkeys. Monkeys mates are a really big part of the work we do in places like the Igbo forest of Cameroon, the Ituri forest of the Congo. And a lot of what we do, oh yeah, there's some more. A lot of what we do is, of course, protect their habitat, but we also want to protect them. Monkeys and apes are unfortunately the victims of the bushmeat trade and the exotic pet trade. Yeah, now I do not know why anyone would want to pet monkey. I have a dog at home who's about 6 pounds, and she's ruined my whole life. So I don't know why anybody would want
Look at
to.
the little baby.
We cannot give them proper care in our homes. Here's a zoo. We're an accredited zoo. We know how to take good care of them. So we're happy to rescue monkeys from those illegal and unsustainable industries and bring them here. Well, get them back in the wild if possible in protected spaces. But yeah, if they come here, we can give them a good home. In fact, this is a nice spot to talk about enrichment. Enrichment is anything we can do to give our animals the best health possible, give them opportunities to be themselves.
You're gonna lay on the ground.
Uh-huh.
So you can see, yeah, jungle gyms, thrill courses, multi-school.
Oh, that's a good one right there. Look at that. With the long tail crossing the road.
Oh, there's the little baby.
Yeah, that's a good video.
Yeah, over there on that back platform. Yeah, being together is really important for them too. They're social animals like we are, right? We're primates as well. So having them together is really important for their mental and physical health. Oh, and I'm glad I got to see the baby. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Okay. I don't know what it's doing, but it's rolling around. All right, well, good. I'm glad we saw some monkey activity, but you're going to see a lot of it today. And just remember, most of our monkeys and apes are up in the top part of the zoo, the Lost Forest and Treetop Way, and that will be close to us at the end of our tour. Here, though, let me point out another spot that you need to visit later. On our right, this is where a few more Asian animals are located. To the right, we have our leopards, and then down the road, that's where the pandas are. So here to see pandas.
Yeah.
Woo! 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 Okay, good. Well, you should go see them because we have 2 of only 4 in all of North America. This is a really special experience. Yeah, so be sure to go see Xingbao and Yunchuan. They are in a quiet zone. I don't get to take you to them, but anytime today, go visit. Well, I should say before 5:30. Panda Ridge does close a little earlier than the zoo. Pandas just have to go to bed, that's all. So make sure to visit them, and later on in the tour, I'll show you how to find them again. Here, though, we're in a really good spot for any bird lovers on board. We have some really amazing birds around us, actually. Up there on the hill to our right, that's Eagle Trail. We have stellar sea eagles, harpies eagles, and an Andean condor. Even from down here, take a look for them because they are really big. If they're flapping around, we'll see them. The Andean condor has an 11-foot wingspan. Our bus is only 8 feet across, for reference. Okay, they're huge. So really incredible birds. So they're beautiful birds here on our left as well. We have African flamingos. We have cormorants. And this is actually a spot where I always look around for local birds to visit as well. Here at the marshland, often we'll find herons and egrets visiting us. Here on the hillside to our right, we're passing a lot of native plants, and that means they give the right refuge and resources to pollinators in our area. So lots of birds visit us, but also, bees, moths, butterflies, even bats. But yeah, planting native plants for your region really is a good idea to help support pollinators. After all, they support us. They're still the backbone of our agricultural industry. So if you like to eat, it does pay to give them a little boost as well. And yeah, plants that they need in our home gardens, in our cities, it really goes a long way. In fact, even just a couple of hops on the patio can make a difference. So if you can at home, plant some native milkweed, sages, manseed, and poppies. At least that's what I do here in California. Wherever you're from, just look it up and you'll find some great plants to include in your yard. Now, over here on the right, we're going to pass some more of our beautiful garden space. But up ahead, we're about to visit more of Africa. So in just a moment, start looking for some hoofstock. Hoofstock are a really important part of the savannah. Huge part of Africa, millions of people, thousands of species, but the hoofstock really are one of the driving engines of keeping it healthy and thriving. Oh, and here's the thing. The reason that we have a mission to create a world where all life thrives is because all life has a job to do. Everything is part of an ecosystem, right? The web of life. So what hoofstock like that beautiful zebra does is that they migrate in huge herds. Their hooves turn up the soil. They leave behind lots of fertilizer. They really do keep the savannah healthy and thriving and in balance. So they're really important animals, and they're also really beautiful. You'll see with the zebra, we also have a big tan animal with corkscrew horns. That's called an eland. And then up ahead here, now we have some gazelle and kudu. Kudu are going to be the larger animals with the white stripes up and down their bodies. They're really pretty. But these are just a handful of our hoofstock species. In fact, I don't know if you're aware, we have two locations. You're here at the zoo on about 100 acres. Not bad. But up north outside of Escondido, we have 1,800 more acres of zoo at our safari park. And that's where you can take a tram ride through the African plains and meet dozens more of our African species. So that's another day. But please do visit our safari park and get to know more of our African animals. Now, here today, though, we have some of our own special experiences. I'm going to check on one here. Well, maybe not. Okay. I'm looking for polar bears. Yeah, we have polar bear plunge here on our left. And it always pays to look around for them. But as you can see, they have a big space. And, all of our animals get lots of room and the choice of how to use it. So I don't see them near us right now. But that's all right. Come on back later on. You can poke around and see if you can find Topsy and Chinook, our two polar bears, who, by the way, if you're wondering, yes, they are okay here in Southern California. I know it's pretty weird to have bears in sunny San Diego, but these polar bears were orphaned in the wild, which was, of course, a shame. But happily, researchers were able to find them and get them to us and to safety. And we've been very proud to take care of them for years now. Because they came at a young age, they were able to acclimate to our temperatures. So they've been perfectly comfortable for a long time. Oh my goodness. Speaking of comfortable, look at these little cuties. On the right, we have some warty pigs. Just chilling. Oh, they're so cute. I love them. This is actually a Filipino species. They're called Visayan warty pigs. And I did not name them, but I enjoy it. But yeah, they're awfully cute all curled up together like that. I love them. Oh, and now here we've got something really beautiful. This is another African antelope. To the right, we have a Guernica. Now, I love the Guernica because it's got some really cool adaptations. That long neck is not just for looks. It, of course, helps the animal get higher into the branches. They can also swivel their back hips and stand up on their hind legs, which is really cool to see. Yeah, so anytime you're over here, look for that Guernica showing off a little bit. But both of these adaptations help them get up to where their food is, but also the moisture. They can go for months without drinking liquid water. They get all the moisture they need for the plants they eat. Yeah, so they're really, really special. Here, these are cute too. We've got some Chicoan peccaries. So this is actually our first American species on the tour. Chicoan peccaries come from the Chaco Desert of Paraguay, South America. And actually, they've got a really interesting backstory. For the longest time, North American Western scientists, it's important to note that, thought that they were extinct. We had seen fossil records from this animal, but we did not see the animal itself for a long time. And I think it was the 70s, they were rediscovered, and we found out that yes, Chicoan peccaries are still out there. We also discovered that anyone living in that area already knew that. And yeah, good learning moment for everybody. The first step now for any kind of conservation is collaboration. Talk to the stakeholders, talk to the people who live there, find out what they know. Why not? Good idea. So we're saving a lot of time these days by making sure to communicate fully with anyone we can. Now, okay, along with us chico and peccaries, we have some more South American animals to our left. You might find some Patagonian mar and giant anteaters. I don't see anyone from where I am. They might not be out yet, but they will be out later. Oh, and by the way, we're passing our Skyfari tram. Yeah, this tram here on our left and kind of behind us now, that's already part of your ticket. We're here at the back. The other end's near the front. Use it as much as you like. It's a lot of fun. And then here on our left, I do want us to look for some mountain lions. Again, this should be the right time of day for these guys. Big cats are crepuscular. They like to be up and about in the early morning or the evening. In the middle of the day, that's when you find some shade and survive by taking it easy. But, I don't see anybody right now. But anytime you come by, do look for Sierra and Tahoe. While they do mostly stay active in the morning and the evening, on a cooler day like we're having today, I think, you might see them at any given time. They're really beautiful. Mountain lions are really cool. They're actually the cat with the biggest range of any cat in the world. They're all throughout North, Central, and South America. Definitely an animal that we live around, right? Well, that's because they've had a big range and we keep moving into it. So we've got to share space with that beautiful animal. And apex predators, they're very important to our environment. Oh, I think I see a maned wolf here on the right. This is kind of like a wild dog from South America.
That looks awesome.
Oh, and do you smell a skunk?
Yeah.
A little bit? Yeah, that's their scent.
Wow.
They're really beautiful, but stinky, just like me. That's part of why I like them so much.
Oh my gosh.
So we've got at least one adult here. And then there are babies that live here.
Wow.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, back in the back wall, right behind the bamboo, you can see some fluffy ears sticking up. They're so cool. Yeah, so these are the first maned wolves born here in over 70 years. We're really excited. And aren't they beautiful, though? I just love this animal. So they are kind of a wild dog, more or less, from South America. And similarly with mountain lions, this is an animal that you got to look out for in South America. Yeah, folks down there, watch the roads for mountain lions and maned wolves. And oh my gosh, sorry?
I haven't seen the babies in over a week.
Oh, we just saw one by back wall, right behind the bamboo. Oh, is that mom? Okay. Anywho, sorry, having a little conversation here on the road. All right, so up ahead though, let's go see if we can find some more American species in Elephant Odyssey. I know that's weird. I know elephants are not American, don't worry. But elephants will be up ahead to represent an ancient American animal. Elephant Odyssey is an odyssey through time. We're going to go back in time about 12,000 years to the end of the last ice age. Do you guys like natural history? Yes, oh good. I do too. It's fun. And it's full of surprises. The first animal I want to show you over here is on the left. I see some of them here at the end of the habitat, kind of curled up by the netting over there. That's a rock hyrax.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so if you've got eyes on them, you can see they're just kind of little small, fluffy characters, like a furry burrito. And they're really cute, but they have a very weird secret relative in the animal world. Who do you think they're related to?
Elephant.
Anybody? Badger, beaver, rat, something like that, right? Gotta be. No, elephants! I know. So, rock hyrax have been called by people in South Africa the elephant's little brother for a long, long time. Just by looking at the skeletal structure, people saw that they had the same foot structure. They have little tusks. That's everything has little tusks. I know. 60 million years ago, elephants, manatees, and hyrax all had a common ancestor. So that's why I like natural history. It's just amazing to figure out where we all came from. Now, on the right here, oh, this is good. We've got our lions out. These are African lions. They're here, though, to represent ancient American lions that used to live here long ago. And we're even bigger. Yeah. So again, we know about these creatures from fossil records. And as you walk through, take a look at the signs and you'll understand who's here to represent the past and who our modern day American animals are as well. But lovely to see Miss Ellen and Ernest. They're brother and sister, by the way. And lions are the weirdos in the cat family. They're the only ones that consistently live in a family group. Most cats are really solitary, but lions need one another. And of course they work together. Although, I gotta say the females do most of the work for the pride.
That's true.
Yeah, we often call the male lion the king of the jungle. That's not quite correct. They don't come from the jungle, they're from the savannah.
Yeah.
And as far as the credit goes, it should go to the female who does most of the hunting, the child rearing, etc. Of course, Ernest, his job is to be handsome and intimidating, and he does a great job. So everybody has their role, but certainly I love our queen of the savannah, Miss Ellen. Now up ahead, let's see if we can find another cat. This time, though, we are looking for a modern-day American cat, the jaguar. Jaguars come from Central and South America, although they used to live right here. Did you know, as late as the 1860s, jaguars were found around the Palm Desert area? Yeah. Now, of course, over time, our human populations drove them out, and that's a shame, but happily we're seeing jaguars
Yeah.
returning to Arizona.
Beautiful.
There are jaguars in Arizona. I think that's so amazing. But still, they are definitely an animal that we want to think about when we're working in the Amazonian rainforest because they are solitary. They can be very big. Our girl here in Indiri just happens to be kind of petite at about 80 pounds, but a big male is going to be over 200 pounds, and so they need a lot of their own space to thrive in. So we think about them when we're stopping deforestation, when we're protecting forests, when we're changing how we conduct our industries, because things like logging, mining, agriculture, those have all caused a lot of deforestation over the years, but we cannot afford to lose the Amazon or the animals in it. They all need to be working together, of course, as a web of life. And they support us. Forests are the lungs of the
little
planet.
baby
So
feet.
for our future
Yeah.
generations, for
Little
these beautiful
rectangle.
animals, we do a lot of work
And
there
her little tail.
in the
Oh, no, I
Amazon
see
for
that.
sustainability. Yeah, and in fact, we have some simple solutions. Do I have any coffee drinkers on board?
Oh, everybody.
Excellent. I myself am well caffeinated. I don't know if you can tell. But here's the zoo. We try to use shade-grown coffee. I do it at home as well. Shade-grown coffee is just coffee grown in the shade of the natural forest. Simple as that. Good idea, right? So it works great. We still have good coffee, but we're making sure to leave things intact for animals like the jaguar. Animals like tapirs and capybaras, too. They're going to be here directly off the pathway to our right. And, you know, capybaras are the world's largest
Yeah.
rodent. They live with the tapirs. I see one in the back left corner of the habitat. It's a big black animal. And you will notice it's got a funny
yeah.
face. They have prehensile snouts.
He's
they're
behind
so
the
cute.
tree now.
And they use those snouts as a snorkel. Yeah, both animals like this one. Capybaras have webbed feet. And then tapirs
Well,
here
there's
have this
one.
lovely snorkel nose.
There's
Yeah,
one.
very cute.
I yield water in the
But not quite as impressive as our elephant schnoz. Yeah, here we go. There's the big trunk. Now, this is one of our 4 African elephants. They're here to represent Columbian mammoth from the past. And this is the only one I see so far, but you gotta look around. We got a lot of space for these guys. In fact, our elephants enjoy a 2-acre habitat. And as you can see, it is filled with all kinds of amazing structures. Everything here has been carefully designed to provide them good enrichment, different ways to use their minds and bodies as much here as they would in the wild. So as you wander through, it's really fun to see all 4 elephants. And there are little pictures along the pathway if you want to get to know them. It's very easy to tell them apart. But yeah, you're going to notice they've got their own personalities, their own preferences. And they all have, of course, a lot of variety to choose from. Elephants forage about 60% of the day. That just means looking around for something to eat, just like us on a weekend, right? And we've got to give them a lot of different kinds of food in a lot of kinds of ways. So food up high, food down low, easy to get to, hard to get to. And yeah, it really is interesting to come through and see what everybody's choosing to engage with. But let's go look for our other elephants. And also, let's check out our elephant care center. Coming up on the right, this is where our elephants get daily checkups. Just in case that's going on, I'm going to go by quietly, but then take a look to the right, and in a moment I'll tell you a little bit more about the place.
You like it, bud? Happy?
Those leaves come out after it rains. Otherwise,
they
it's
do?
just a brown, dry
They look like,
stick.
they look like pigs.
Yeah.
Guitar pigs. Watch out. They slapped my face by one of the ponds.
No.
Okay, I think we're clear. I saw some care specialists at work preparing elephant salad, but I didn't see any interaction with the elephants, and that's what I'm looking for, because when our elephants and humans are working together, they need to do a lot of communication. They use hand signals, verbal commands. The idea is that the elephants walk through the back of that building, meet our care specialists, see an opening, and they stay separated. We always have protective contact in that kind of a case. And so there does need to be a lot of communication. But, you know, that's up to us to figure out. These animals deserve the best care we can offer them. It is up to us to figure out how to do that in a safe way. And exactly what we've been doing here is figuring a lot of stuff out and, of course, sharing it with lots of other organizations. We want to give elephants, well, and all animals, the care they deserve wherever they are. So collaboration is a really big part of what we do as an alliance. And, oh, check this out. Here's our female elephant, Shaba. And Shaba actually has been here a long time, so she's taught us a lot about what works for her, what she likes to eat, what she doesn't, what she can break, what she can't. These are good things to know. Yeah, so we're always constantly learning from all of our animals and, of course, sharing what we can with whoever wants to. And in fact, speaking of female elephants, at our safari park, I hope you go visit us there. We have Elephant Valley, newly renovated. It's magnificent, and that's where you have some moms and babies. And they have been part of a really cool project lately. We've been collecting some of their milk. Not something you can do in the wild. Do not try to milk a wild elephant. At our park, though, we have been able to collect some of the milk and learn about its nutritional content. And this has been really crucial for our friends at the Riteti Sanctuary in Kenya. They take in orphaned baby elephants. Elephants that have been orphaned because of the ongoing ivory trade, which we're also working, of course, to stop. But in the meantime, if our friends at Riteti can take them in, take care of them, that's awesome. If we can also help them understand exactly what kind of nutrition those babies need,
There's a bunch of little hummingbirds
really
in this
special. So that's been a
butterfly
really cool
bush.
collaborative project we've been very proud to take part in. And actually, that project had some unforeseen consequences for the local economy. We found out that goat's milk was a good place to start if you're creating elephant's milk. Can you imagine being a goat farmer and finding out that you have the hungriest, biggest clients ever? Very good stuff, yeah. So
Look
the
how
whole
it's
thing has been a really
laying
fun
down.
project, helping out a lot of
It's
people
like
and a lot
on
of
its back
elephants
knees.
all over the place. Now here, we're leaving the elephants, but not Elephant
Yeah.
Odyssey. Do you see any camels?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we got some camels in view. These are Zara and Kiki. They're a couple of dromedary camels. So dromedaries come from the north of Africa, the Mideast. But these ladies are here to represent ancient North American camels that used to live right here. Pretty cool. Yeah. Now they live with some burros. Over here at this end of Elephant Odyssey, you are going to find more of our American species. We have the burros. We have a South American guanaco. We have a California condor that I think we're going to see just up ahead here.
Great baby.
And actually, the condor is our flagship species for the work we do in the Southwest. Look at that, the wingspan. Yeah, okay, this is the biggest bird in North America with a 9-foot wingspan. Look at that. So cool, right? Yeah, what a beautiful bird.
Oh, man.
I love seeing their wings
Oh,
out like
that's
that.
alive. That's alive as a statue.
You know, this bird was called the Thunderbird by indigenous communities here in the Americas.
That's a great picture.
And rightfully so, right? That is a
For
pretty
your
impressive
website.
animal. But they're also revered for what they do for our ecosystem. What do condors and vultures eat?
Carcasses.
Gross stuff, right? Dead stuff, rotting stuff, carry-on, whatever you want to call it. But when they eat it up, they stop the spread of disease. They clean up the environment for us. So
Like,
these
you
are
got it,
really
bro?
important animals.
Got my picture,
Now,
bro?
knowing that about condors and vultures made it really important for us to help save
That's why
this
they have no
bird.
feathers on their head.
California condors have been one of our flagship species around here for over 40 years. Back in the 1980s,
And then they don't pull the bacteria out on
researchers
their
could find
feathers.
only 22 California condors, 22 individuals. Now, that's called the brink of extinction, and we find it unacceptable.
There's another one
So we got to
Yeah,
work.
I saw that.
We, of course, had lots of
Remember when
partners.
we saw one in the wild?
U.S. Fish and Wildlife, national parks, U.S. and Mexican
I don't know what
governments.
those
We all
are,
work
but they're
together
little.
to stop pollution, poaching,
baby
habitat loss,
ones?
and
We'll have
we
to
started a
find out.
breeding program at our safari park. All of it went quite well. Yeah, nowadays we have over 600 birds in the whole population, and about half have been reintroduced up and down the west coast of North America. I actually got to see condors
big
flying
one,
near
huh,
the Grand
baby?
Canyon. And you seem like nice people, so I'll admit to you, I cried just a tiny bit. I was really excited because I knew how close they'd come to be gone forever. Seeing those birds out there was proof that when we work together, we can change things. We can bring animals back from the brink of extinction. And of course, now that they're back out there, they're doing their job. They're keeping us healthier. They're keeping our environments healthier. So yeah, that's a really, really great project that is ongoing. In fact, that's the kind of thing that you're supporting by being here today. So thank you, everybody, very much. And I really hope you get to see them flying today. Of course, I really hope you get to see some in the wild as well. When you do, Again, feel proud and excited. You have been helping with that project, and of course, others like it all over the world. Yay!
Look how
So
fun it
cool.
is.
Glad you got to see that wingspan. I'm glad we got to see so much there in Elephant Odyssey. But of course, there is more from the pathway, so do walk through later on. Get to know all the elephants better. But right now, we're going to head on to more of Africa. Oh, starting with our meerkat village, and look at these adorable little guys. All right, over here, just off the front of the bus, we've got a little guy standing up so tall. Look at his tiny little legs.
Aww.
They're just little. They're so cute. And then there's one just kind of like completely relaxed on the dirt. I love that. And that's the thing, because one of them is on guard duty, the others can relax.
Oh yeah.
They're very small animals. They have, scientifically speaking, they are tasty bite-sized snacks. So they've learned to be very social. They look after each other. They take turns on guard duty.
Look at him
And
looking at
then the
everything.
others can just,
Yeah, that's
relax
awesome.
and make breakfast and go to meetings or whatever
Yeah,
it
I
is
do
your
want to
cats
go
want
to
to
the
do.
botanical gardens.
Yeah, oh, they're so much fun. I love them. Now, anytime you go by,
Maybe
also
even
listen,
I don't know if I can
because they
Yeah,
chirp
yeah.
often. They have dozens of different vocalizations that they can use to tell each other exactly what's going on. Yeah, so very cool adaptations. Just like we've done, right? Being social, being communicative, this is how you survive. Now, off to the right here. This is the first of a series of habitats in Africa Rocks. Africa Rocks, oh, here's my hornbill. Africa Rocks is a journey through 7 big habitats representing the biodiversity of Africa. It's amazing. Now, we're going to see some of it. You do need to walk through. I'm going to remind you about that later. But from here, we have a nice view of our Kobe, this big rocky habitat, and this is kind of cool. Can you see this trumpeter hornbill?
Yep.
Right there at the back, kind of in a big piece of log or bark. I'll go by slowly so everybody can see. What's going on right now is that they're a mating pair. That is a male, and he is feeding his wife, who lives inside that nest and will not come out until she has hatched her eggs. Yeah, this is really weird. The male actually closes his wife in using mud and things and makes her a safe little compartment with just a tiny hole that he feeds her through. And then she's just there until her babies are hatched, and then they all come out. He breaks it open when he hears the chirping. Isn't that strange? I just love it so much. So he's
What do you
a
mean
very
they
good
don't have
husband.
eggs?
Yeah, he's a
Because I
really
don't
good
have
boy.
that many eggs.
We're very
Oh.
proud
That's
of
why he
him.
closes her in.
But
You know,
okay,
some
there
of
are
us
other
have
animals
batch
in
of
here.
5
In
or
this
6,
cabin
Yeah.
rocks, you
probably
might
have
find a
like 1 or
mongoose,
2.
a hyrax,
Got
the
it, yeah.
clip-stringer antelope. They're my favorites. The clip-stringer antelope are only 2 feet tall. They're really cute, so make sure to look for them. But you're going to find everybody, if you're on the pathway, here now. You can kind of see off to the right how the pathway roams through that Kobe habitat and
awesome.
down and to the right. Yeah,
Nice
so
and
you got your
wide.
Kobe, which is just that big outcropping of volcanic rock.
Yeah.
Great place for lots of animals to go and live in to stay safe, right? But then the pathway goes on down through some gorgeous gardens on your way to the Ethiopian highlands. Now we're going to kind of see it. Off to the right, there's going to be a grassy area, and sometimes we can see a few baboons walking around. The baboons are really cool. They're homogeneous baboons. They're the ones with the big pink bottoms. And they've got a couple of babies right now. So I really hope you go and see everybody. But like I said, take a look from here. Sometimes we'll see a little bit of activity from the road. Yeah. Let's
Conrad,
see. Maybe
Africa
not.
rocks.
Okay, that's fine. So visit there later on. Now, from there, the pathway heads on down into the canyon with many more habitats. We're going to see that lower part after a brief detour. Right now, though, we're just going to slip through Sydney's Plaza and return to the canyon via Center Street, which I'm always pretty excited about because Center Street is where the bears live. How do you guys feel about bears? Do you like them?
Yeah.
Pretty good? Yeah, okay, good. I love them. They're my favorites. I grew up around them. I was raised by bears. No, I was raised around them, though.
Raised by
I'm from Montana, and we lived just outside of town where we had lots of fields around our neighborhood, and we saw moose and deer and little black bears. One time, a little black bear actually came into our backyard, and we found him playing in my sandbox. Great way to learn how to share as a kid, right? So happily, my parents were very wise, and they were like, let's stay inside and just enjoy the fact that our wild neighbors around are thriving. Yeah. So that's where I got this idea of, okay, we moved into their neighborhood. It's up to us to be respectful and responsible and make sure that we all coexist because, again, these animals have an important part to play in the health of our environments. In fact, part of why I love bears is because of their role in the ecosystem. They are seed dispersers. Right here we're looking for sloth bears. A mom and 2 babies right now, actually. I don't know if I see them, but I do see lots of fruits and veg lying around. Do you see that? I think that's a tomato. Anyway, all of our bears are omnivores. And that means they eat lots of meat, lots of insects. In fact, the sloth bears love slurping up termites and ants. Hopefully you'll see them later on. But they all eat vegetation as well. So when they eat veg, the seeds pass through their bodies to be deposited on the forest floor in their own little packet of fertilizer. Yeah, bears poop seeds, yay! And by doing that, they are constantly rebuilding their habitat. They're planting the forest for us at all times. We are not going to see a grizzly bear right
They
now.
like to wear
There's a
visors.
human in there.
Yeah.
So come back later to see the bears and just consider that wherever they're from, they are helping out our planet by supporting the forest. Yeah, so we have our sloth bears from Asia, kind of the Himalayas. We do have 2 grizzly bears that will come out after our humans are done. Oh, same here. Look, more humans at work. Good job, everybody. Yeah. But come back here later and you'll get to see some of our bears. Down the hill here, too. Off to the right, you're going to find a pathway going into the sun bear trail. We have a sun bear living off in the woods to our right. And then in a moment, I'll show you where those pandas are. But yeah, we've got some Asian bear species. We have the North American bear species. There are Andean bears in South America. We work with that species at the Manda National Park in Peru. But wherever bears are, we want to support them. We want to make sure they've got plenty of space to thrive in because, again, they're helping us out all the time. Now, we can also help them out in our personal lives. Speaking of the forests of the world, we do use a lot of resources from them, and a lot of them are paper products. So, notepads of paper, paper towels, toilet paper. How many of you use toilet paper?
No.
1, 2, 3, at least 4 of you. Good. Okay, we're making progress. All right, we use these things all the time, right? Next time you're shopping for them, please do a very simple thing and check out the packaging. If you see the FSC, that's the Forest Stewardship Council, they've made sure that that was sustainably produced.
Sure.
Simple as that,
Sure,
right?
they did.
They're doing all that weird work for us. So all we have to do is be a thoughtful consumer
Everything
when we
going
go
on
to the
in
store.
life is
So you
gonna
can help
but that's
bears,
gonna be the one thing
and of
that
course
I-
everybody, just by
Louis?
making those small
I'm from
choices
the
day by day. In
FSC.
fact, we do it
I'm
here.
just to check those
Oh, I should pause here and show you around. We're back in the canyon. Pandas are down to the left. Also to the left, we've got a big tower with elevators. If you're heading downhill anywhere in the zoo, you're going to wind up down here. Just use those elevators if you want to pop back up to the front or cross the bridge to the back of the zoo. But also, right here on our left, we've got the panda shop. We have Wame Cafe, named after the first panda baby born here back in 1999. But yeah, all of our cafes and gift shops, we are constantly composting, recycling, using biodegradable materials, sustainable products. We know that these things add up. So the more of that we can do in our own lives, the better off we all will be. So yeah, keep up the good work. And of course today, don't worry about a thing. We're doing it for you. Oh, but remember, when you are at our cafes and gift shops, all the money goes to conservation. Today is the day you get to eat as many churros as you want. It just means you love wildlife. I won't let anyone stop you. You go right ahead. Yeah, so have fun and just know that we're taking care of you today. Now, here, all right, we've got to leave the canyon, and we're going to do that by heading up into the last part of Africa Rocks. As promised. And, oh, I don't know if we see them out quite yet, but in that big pool over there to the left, that's where the penguins live. So we have a nice big flock of South African penguins. You should be able to find them later on when you walk through. Oh yeah, I can actually see the future through the windows there. But also, enjoy the garden space. This is my favorite garden. I love all the textures and colors. The Cape Fynbos, this coastal region of South Africa, is a lot like San Diego in its climate. We have cool, wet winters, hot, dry summers, and the penguins and the plants are really thriving here with us, which we're happy about because those penguins do need our help. They've been in decline for a lot of reasons, like habitat loss, overfishing, but also climate change. Even though they're pretty comfortable in our warm climate, a little bit of a change can be really devastating to ocean-dwelling animals. So we can help them too in our daily lives. When you're going to go to the store and make all those good decisions, walk or bike or ride share as you can. You know, that's the kind of thing we can do to combat climate change for all of us. Now, over here on the left, let's see if we can find more animals. Oh, actually we can. All right, up on the wall, at the top of the building, there are a couple of lemurs hanging out right there. Do you see them? Yeah, there are 2 lemurs. One is brown, one is black, but they are both blue-eyed black lemurs. It's just the females are always that cinnamony brown color, which I think is so pretty. Yeah, they're a cute little couple that like singing out all the time. We have 4 kinds of lemurs, by the way. And a fossa family. The fossas are the only predators of Madagascar, where the lemurs are from as well. So there's a little bit of Madagascar down there. And then up the trail, you've got some walk-through aviaries. And then here, we're getting into our acacia woodlands. And it always pays to check out the walls and netting here too. We've got bird monkeys and leopards that do occasionally climb up to say hello. So this is where I have to remind you, please walk through. From the path, you'll meet everybody. But still, from up here, you can see just what huge and beautiful part of the zoo this is. I really hope you guys take a walk through Africa Walk. We will be close to it. We're almost at the end of our tour. And from our front area at the depot, it's easy to walk back here. So you could do this next. However, I should mention, we passed the stage area down there near the penguins, and there is a wildlife presentation there at noon. So at 12 o'clock, if you wanted to come through and make that your time to visit Africa Rock, you could drop in on that free wildlife presentation. There are actually two more, too. There's one at 1 o'clock at the base camp, and one at 2 o'clock in the Weatherford Bowl. So those are on your maps, they're on your apps, or just ask us. But yeah, I highly recommend them. Now here, though, on the right, I see some koalas. Yeah, take a look out there in the trees. I see a couple of our male koalas here. So we'll leave Africa to you, but here on the right, we do have a little bit of Australia. And Australia is another conservation hub for us. They've actually been a really great partner to us for over 100 years. Back in 1925, we became the first institution to get koalas out of Australia. And they sent them to us. Their names were Snuggle Pie and Cuddle Pot.
Oh my God.
But now we have the largest colony of them outside of Australia. And that's great. That means we can get back. This is a research site. We have lots of koalas to learn from. The males are here on this side of the building, though. They're pretty territorial. Up ahead, though, now we're approaching where the moms and babies hang out, and they do like to be together. This is where the snuggling happens, so that's pretty adorable. And we do have babies right now, and they are out of the pouch. We've got to let you know that part because we do wait for that. A koala baby is born the size of a jelly bean, and it has to crawl in the mom's pouch where it nurses and develops for several months, like 6 to 7 months. Oh yeah, we've got more koalas there in the trees. I can see them. And at that time, then they're ready to come on out. They're big enough, fluffy enough to come out and live in the trees. But for a while, they still stay really close to their moms and babysitters, and they like to ride on their mom's back. It's really cute. So you might get to see some baby activity here today.
There's one
But
right
definitely you will
here.
find lots of koalas.
behind the
And
trees.
you should be able to get some good photos. I see one right there in that first tree through the foliage. They are easy to photograph because koalas sleep about 22 hours a day. And now if you're thinking that sounds great and you want to be a koala when you grow up, you can.
Yep.
You don't have the koalifications.
Boom.
I do. I'm
It's
overqualified.
okay, the tour is almost over. All right. It's true though. They have a very special enzyme in their gut that allows them to process the toxicity that is in eucalyptus. Do not try it at home. It would make us sick. The koalas are just fine, but it does take quite a bit of energy. So yeah, sleepy little guys over there to our right. And again, you could come right back, make them your next